Joy is your essential nature. Forget the notion that you have to suffer to attain joy.
You do not need to earn her favor. You don't need to earn her favor. She wants us to be happy.
She doesn't judge you. If you have a judging God, maybe you need a new God.
Good morning and welcome to another Sunday morning message, Priestess at the altar. I'm glad that you decided to join me. You will notice I have a groovy new stole. It is green and gold. Green and gold are the colors of the Church of the Goddess, and you can't see it because I don't stand during these, but I got one that has a dove on it because the dove, and it's got little gold tassels at the bottom, because the dove is a symbol of Inanna or Ishtar, depending upon what tradition you're talking about. So this is my new stole, hopefully to be followed by others. I never got any feedback about this stole, so I assume that it's groovy. Again, always open to comments on the YouTube channel, or if you want to contact me on social media, or you can contact me at the Church of the Goddess at gmail.com or the girlfriend god at gmail.com if you have comments about the stole or about Priestess at the altar or any of the other Church of the Goddess or the girlfriend god content. They're all kind of tied together under one umbrella, and it's all me. I am the one woman show. So let's get started in our usual manner. We're going to take 3 deep centering breaths, and I'm going to do it with you. Ready? And I'm going to go in through the nose and out through the mouth. And one last time. Are you centered with me now? For it is our love, our faith, and our passion that brings us here, where we can spend just a little time to commune, to be still, to feel the life force of human connection, which also connects us to her. Just imagine for a moment a silver thread that connects all of us watching this now and anyone else who watches it later at all different times all over the world. For we have been drawn together in the peace and in the love of the Goddess. And together, we all say, Amen Dea. Thank you. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a guided meditation with you, but the guided meditation is not mine. I'm going to share my screen, but I'm still going to be sitting here with you doing this guided meditation with you. So today's message, if you will, is whatever message you receive from this guided meditation. But I want to do this meditation today because the message, I guess, is on the focus of a goddess as mother, because my experience with the goddess, which is really all I have to share with you, so the message is a message of hope within despair, because we all have crises of faith. We all have existential crises from time to time. We all have despair in our lives, whether that has to do with what's happening with our own lives or watching someone suffer, someone that we love, with illness or tragedy, or our own illness or tragedy, or watching groups of people suffer, a community we belong to, a race that we belong to, a marginalized people that we belong to. We feel despair on various levels. So when I go to the goddess as mother, I am here to tell you that I have gotten more respite and release and comfort than I have received from any human that I have ever known. And we talked about that a little bit with the Trinity, right? In my own Trinity, I have needed the goddess as mother. And, when I meditate, I often use visualization, and sometimes I need guided meditation to evoke that visualization. So if that's something that you haven't done before, I think this guided meditation is a really good introduction to that. Today, I can easily imagine myself being held by the mother. And there are many different patron goddesses. There are many different goddesses in the world that have a mother aspect. Not all, some goddesses are badasses, some goddesses are warriors, some goddesses are, there's all different kinds of goddesses, and not all of them have this motherly protectress aspect. Some do, some don't. But I think I talked about in the Trinity discussion last week that a lot of the original concepts that we have of goddess in ancient history is as mother, and the earth as mother to us all. So that visualization of being held, whether it's being held, I have a visualization where I'm a small baby, being held like this, or as an adult. I have one where actually I use this with my patron goddess, where I have, as an adult, I put my head right here in this space between where the throat and the shoulder come together, which is my favorite spot on a woman, and being held that way. Or in this guided meditation, it's a different position. I don't want to give too much of it away. Anyway, so I wanted to do this guided meditation with you. And if you would, I usually don't like to beat the drum of negativity, as you know, but if there's something in your life in which you're feeling despair about, Sally is going to ask you to bring that to mind so that you can feel this relief and respite that comes from being able to consciously connect with the mother. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Sally. So Sally, she's a Siddha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. You can correct me if I'm wrong, if you know that I'm not saying it right. She is a Siddha yoga instructor, a mentor and writer, drawing from the Indian yoga tradition, depth psychology and non-duality, and spirituality. I discovered her on YouTube because, then this is the other thing. She has this great video called Goddess Worship is the Path to Bliss. And I'm going to include that in today's description notes for today's episode so that you can follow the link and go watch that if you want, which I encourage you to do because it's an incredible talk. And so today I'm going to play this part of one of her other videos about this goddess of consciousness. And I've used this guided meditation myself many times. I haven't used it in a long time, so it'll be fun to do it with you guys today. But it's really powerful. And in the Hindu tradition, right, because the Church of the Goddess and this Shiism that we practice is really all the religions with all the paths combined, including Hindu goddess traditions. So in the Hindu goddess traditions, there's something called the 10 wisdom goddesses. I'm not super familiar with Hindu tradition, but to me, it seems it's almost like a pantheon of these 10 goddesses that are pathways into consciousness. So the goddess that Sally uses for this meditation is the goddess Bhuvaneshri. I think that's how you say it, Bhuvaneshri. Again, if someone knows better and I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, please correct me in the notes or send me a message. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do this meditation together, and then I'm going to come back. Okay. I'll see you in 5 to 6 minutes.
So Bhuvaneshwari is one of the most motherly and beautiful forms of goddess. She's often shown with naked and very beautiful breasts. One of her names is the nurse of the world, she who nurses the world. She has a third eye in the middle of her forehead, which is open because she is fully awake. She is the knowingness which sees through the play at every moment. Her color is red, signifying her creativity. She has, all the goddesses they're highly symbolic meditation forms, really. And they hold emblems in both the Indian and Tibetan traditions. She holds a goad, which symbolizes the prick of desire and anger that drives us forward. She holds a lasso, which represents her ability to keep us on the path. And her other two hands are in the gestures of bestowing boons and dispelling fear. Her emanation, in my experience, is as this vast holding space within which we are able to actually face into the horror of life as well as its beauty, with the recognition that it is all being held in the arms of the Great Mother, of the Great Goddess. And we're going to do a meditation on her in just a moment. In fact, let's start now. So you can imagine for this part of the meditation that you can bring yourself, first of all, into your heart space and to take a couple of breaths. That helps. If you need to consciously drop your awareness, your consciousness from the head space where many of us sit when we're listening, down to the center of the chest, then you can do that, or put your hand over your heart if that helps. Something about the naked palm against the chest allows us to sense the heart. And as you inhale and exhale, see if you can breathe into the back of the heart. Something we often don't do. Just let the breath flow into the back of the heart. And then see if you can allow the breath to flow out the back to the space behind the heart. Many of you, especially if you do Tibetan practice, may have done the practice of locating your awareness behind you. So see if you can feel yourself breathing into the back of the heart and out the back of the heart, and see if you can feel behind your body a loving, knowing, motherly, utterly objective, and yet utterly personal awareness, which literally has your back. She is holding you from behind, as though embracing you from behind. Holding you as you breathe. And just see if with each breath you can become more conscious of the fact that whatever state you're in, wherever you are, however you are experiencing yourself at any given moment, she is holding you. And for those of you who like to do visual meditations, you can imagine her. Her extraordinary beauty, her rosy red body, the ecstatic smile on her face, and the love in her eyes as she looks at you and through you and regards the world through your senses, holding whatever is in you that is personal, whatever is in you that is karmic, holding your shadows, holding your insights, holding you as you are at any given moment. And as you allow yourself to breathe into the growing sense of the goddess Bhuvaneshwari at your back, the goddess of consciousness at your back, see if you can expand your awareness of her to recognize that she is also inside every cell of your body, that she's in the chair, that she's in the air, that she's that awareness that is present in everyone in this room, and also, though less obviously, in the floor, and the lights, and the sounds. One of the great gifts of being present to the space of consciousness as personal deity, as goddess, especially as a very motherly goddess, is that you can then bring her your pleasure and pain and ask her to hold it. And to me, this has been perhaps the most skillful daily practice for lucid living, which I know is the title of this morning's program, that I've ever found. And so I want to, in the few moments we have, just to take a little excursion into some aspect of your life that feels problematic right now, whether it's a worry or a relationship or your own illness or just the existential holding that so many of us feel, and become very present to that. Whatever it is, you pick one. My anger, my work problems, the fight I had with my partner this morning, my friend who's sick and I haven't been to see him, and whatever it is that's uncomfortable, the mistakes that I've made this week, my feeling of don't really know what I'm doing with my life. Find that and find the way that feels in your body, which for some of us is very easy and some of us a little difficult. See if you can find where it is in your body. And then focusing as intently as possible on that felt sense of discomfort or holding or sadness or anger in the body or numbness. Some of us, that's what we come up with in a moment like this. Feel it in the body really as intently as you can. And then become aware of the presence of Goddess Bhuvaneshwari at your back, holding you, holding your body, holding your history, holding your emotional experience, and holding that place where you found the physical analog of the discomfort or pain that I asked you to produce. Feel how she holds that and holds you. And you can, in this moment, offer it to her, or you can just let you and whatever discomfort or feeling you may have found surfacing, just allow her holding to be present. Let her hold you. She is consciousness. She is ever present. She is in everything and thus impersonal. And she is also the most personal mother, lover, teacher that any of us can ever have. So just allow yourself to open to the Divine Mother aspect of pure awareness. She who creates, she who disguises herself, she who loves, and she who awakens. So with a deep inner bow to the Goddess of Consciousness at our back, the Goddess Bhuvaneshwari, the Lady of Space, you can open your eyes. We have a couple of minutes for questions.
Okay, and we're back. How do you feel? Sad? Release? Confusion? It's intense, right? Especially if you're new to this kind of meditation. But I encourage it. You know, I talk about meditation a lot on the social media channels, and it is the fastest, for me, it is the fastest and surest way for me to make that conscious contact when I need her. So I think after that, I don't really have too much more to say, because that meditation and that practice and that I hope that your experience brought you some of that release and relief that I wanted to share as the message today, that is available to you in the Mother or in whatever goddess you choose, whatever mother aspect of whatever patron deity you have, or the goddess, the primordial goddess. Smoking priestess, excuse me. I needed one after that. Maybe you do too. So yes, so that is what I hope you take with you today. One, that this sort of deep meditative practice can be healing. It can bring release and relief. Of course, the opposite of that is doing a similar visual meditation and getting that kind of hug and offering her your joy, right? Because for every thing that you bring to her, you can also bring to her the opposite, but I guess that's another episode, right? Joy as an offering, but grief and despair and bewilderment and all of those things that when we struggle, we can bring that to her, and we can be held and comforted. And there is great relief for that. There is great relief here for you. If you will allow it, if you will allow yourself to be held by her, she will hold you. She will hold you. And it is, again, great relief. That has been my experience. That has been the experience of many other women that I know. And I believe wholeheartedly that it can be your experience. And if it doesn't work for you the first time, meditation takes practice. Getting to that place takes practice, learning how to breathe through your heart and locating your consciousness behind you. All of those things take practice. So as you sign off YouTube today, that is what I leave you with. You can go watch Sally Kempton and other videos of her. If you just Google Sally Kempton, she has her own website, sallykempton.com. And you can do a Google search. Again, there are links in today's description. So that is what I leave you with today. You can be held and comforted by her. There is release and relief there available to you all the time. So with that, I wish you the peace and the love of the goddess. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching Church of the Goddess, Priestess at the Altar. You can find me here every Sunday morning. Be sure to check out the Church of the Goddess and the Girlfriend God's other content, the Girlfriend God podcast, which you can find right here on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcast fix. And then we have the Mod series also right here on YouTube. And you can find other Church of the Goddess and Girlfriend God social media content on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The